We are a medical device manufacturer. We specialize in complex geometry, tight tolerance components for both instruments and implants to serve the medical device industry.
We're focused on trying to bring the finest solutions into the medical device industry that are capable today. Typically, we're thought of when customers got up in a project, something that's requiring some real creative approaches to how you figure out how to machine stuff.
When I walk around and I think about the 60-year history of Triangle, where we've come from, our past, the different markets that we've served, the different industries that we've been a part of, and where we are today, it's amazing the journey that Triangle has been on over the course of the last 6 decades, and I'm so excited for where the future is going to take us.
My father, came up from pretty much nothing. He was a foreman in a machine shop. He had a strong mind of his own. And Triangle was started with 3 guys. That's where the concept of Triangle came from. A guy named George King, a fellow named Altuve. The 3 of them went out into a small garage with a bunch of borrowed stuff and a few $100 each, and started from scratch in a small garage down in Rochelle Park, New Jersey. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody on the shop floor that came close to the skills and the ability that my father brought to bear on what it was that he offered to his customers early in the mid-50s when he started the company. And he obviously led us in a way that made a difference. Back in the mid-60s, I guess the shop probably was a total of 20. So the shop was all conventional. Guys with skills, pretty much simple, hand of metal, hand of blueprints. I started in high school, which was late in the mid to late 60s, working summers. We were still actively involved in aerospace, a whole variety of things. Actuators is a big part of what we were doing.
My father worked many, many years, very hard and long, to build the company up to a certain point. And then throughout the years, we watched him work diligently night and day. Always took pride in his work, filled with integrity. And then when he passed the baton to my brother Neil, it just became a really, really fun thing to watch because I was here through that transition. I love having multiple generations together. I think to me that's a lot of fun and enjoyment to having a family business.
I remember coming in, sweeping floors, boxing parts, cleaning parts.
As my father had with me and where my career started, which was on the shop floor the first 15 years of my career, I encouraged him to go down on the floor, get a sense of what life was like.
There was one point where I approached him and said, I could really use a little bit of extra cash. And he said, well, I'll tell you the same thing that my father told me. Being the son of the boss, it gives you one very special privilege. You can work as much as you want.
And that was pretty much the start of Dax's career. And it wasn't such a formal plan, but we certainly knew that it was important if he was going to jump right from his football career into Triangle, that he had a taste of what the business was like from the ground up. So transition from aerospace over a period of time actually into the medical device industry. I was having a conversation with my friends who worked for Stryker at the time, and I asked him, I said, so what are we going to do to get some work out of you guys? And he said to me, well, first thing you got to do is learn how to cut titanium and cobalt chrome. So we bought some and started to practice. And we cut our teeth on some of the materials that were very common in orthopedics.
I had a vision of taking our organization from being what most people would classify as a machine shop or a contract manufacturer and transitioning to being a medical device manufacturing company.
I truly believe that Dax has got the energy and the fortitude to take Triangle to the next level of where it has to go.
Focusing predominantly on shoulder, knee, and implant products. Doing some work in spine as well now. Very, very gifted group of engineers and staff members who've been involved in this business for, in many cases, decades. Focus on taking on some of the toughest and most critically important projects for some of the finest and most advanced and #1 positioned orthopedic companies in our country.
I think my grandfather would be blown away if he saw what we were up to today. To see his dream, his tiny little shop that he dreamed up in his kitchen with my grandmother 60 years ago, he would be so full of pride, and that makes me proud.